Let's bring in former Israeli ambassador to the United States, Michael Oren. Ambassador, thanks for being with us. How concerning are these new developments, and do you believe they could derail this fragile peace plan?
Always good to be with you, Ariel. Good morning. It could definitely derail it. It's hard to explain necessarily to an American audience what this means to Israeli society, that these deceased hostages have not been reunited with their families for proper burial. You see, I'm still wearing my yellow pin, my yellow hostage pin, because even though the living hostages have been reunited with their families, there's still 20 or 21 deceased hostages who have yet been to be repatriated for that proper burial. And that is exquisitely painful for these families. I've dealt with these families. I know the agony they go through, and that will reverberate throughout all Israeli society. And the feeling that even though President Trump and his team have accomplished the seemingly impossible by getting these 20 living hostages released and beginning a process which we hope will result in the reconstruction of Gaza and perhaps even peace between Israel and the Palestinians, it all begins right here. There are a number of now whether glitches or hurdles that have to be crossed in order to move to these other truly transformative stages of the 20 points. That is the return of the deceased hostages and the disarming of Hamas, neither of which this morning look very easy to be achieved.
In Israel, as you know, Ambassador, has drawn fierce condemnation for withholding aid in the past to punish Hamas. The argument is that it also punishes innocent Palestinians in Gaza who need that aid. What's behind this decision now, and do you think it's a productive strategy?
Well, first, let's be clear. I'm not a spokesman for the Israeli government anymore. I'm not an ambassador anymore. And I've always been in favor not only of giving aid to the Palestinians in Gaza, but of flooding Gaza with humanitarian aid. That there are other tools for pressuring Hamas. A tool would be certainly denying Hamas access to the aid. Hamas in the past would steal upwards of 60% of that aid. It would feed its own terrorists and then sell that 60% to Palestinian civilians at exorbitant prices and enrich Hamas. So you deny Hamas access to the aid. Don't deny the aid to the Palestinians. And there are other ways of pressuring Hamas. It's denying them cash. It's denying them arms and getting Hamas's major patrons in the region, Qatar and Turkey, to pressure Hamas. I think those are the way to go. I kind of think that denying Palestinian aid does not redound to our benefit and ultimately creates more international pressure on Israel and not on Hamas.
We've seen the horrifying images circulating of Hamas reasserting itself in the streets, executing fellow Palestinians it perceives to be collaborating with Israel. One of the critical concerns in phase 2 of Trump's peace plan is this disarmament of Hamas. Here's what the president had to say about it yesterday.
If they don't disarm, we will disarm them.
How will you do that?
I don't have to explain that to you. But if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games. If they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. I spoke to Hamas, and I said, you're going to disarm, right? Yes, sir, we're going to disarm. That's what they told me. They will disarm or we will disarm them. Got it?
Ambassador, who is we? Who do you believe that the president is referring to? The administration's been adamant that there will be no U.S. boots on the ground in Gaza. So who is we, and what does he mean by all of this?
Well, I'm going to take President Trump at his word. I think he's very adamant about it. And he says they're going to disarm. They're going to disarm one way or the other, hopefully peacefully, but perhaps even violently. The president in the past, Ariel, has referred to Israeli forces as we. In the battle against Iran last summer, he often referred to Israeli forces as we. We are very, very close allies indeed, and we cooperate intimately. I don't think it will be easy for Israel to resume major military operations in Gaza. Now the civilian population of Gaza City has returned to that city. That's a human shield for Hamas. I don't think American troops, now there's only 200 troops on the ground, will be directly involved in fighting. But Israel can once again engage in surgical strikes against Hamas. Every Hamas fighter that appears on the street with a gun will be a target. It will be a target for Israeli drones, and those Israeli drones will draw on American intelligence capabilities as they have in the past, including, above all, satellite intelligence. And so Hamas can be forced to disarm violently, if need be, by surgical strikes from Israel with American intelligence backing.
Ambassador Michael Oren, thank you, as always, for giving us your perspective and analysis. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ariel.